In the highlands of Guatemala, during one of the darkest chapters of the country's history, speaking the truth could cost you everything: your home, your family, your life. One young indigenous woman chose to speak anyway. Her name was Rigoberta Menchú. Born into a poor Kichi Maya family, Menchú grew up amid land dispossession, forced labour, and political repression. When Guatemala descended into civil war, indigenous communities were caught in the crossfire, their villages targeted, their voices erased. Rigoberta did not grow up seeking to be a symbol. She grew up trying to survive. Her family paid a terrible price. Relatives were tortured, murdered, and disappeared. For many, such loss leads to fear and silence. For Menchú, it became a call to speak, not only for herself, but for those who were no longer alive to tell their stories. As a young woman, Rigoberta went into exile, carrying with her the experiences of countless indigenous people whose suffering had been ignored by the outside world. She told those stories publicly, of massacres, of forced displacement, of systemic injustice rooted in colonization and racism. She spoke not with hatred, but with clarity and resilience. Her testimony reached beyond Central America. It challenged governments, international institutions, and a global audience that had looked away for too long. For the first time, indigenous voices from Guatemala were heard on the world stage, not as statistics, but as human beings. When truth threatens power, speaking becomes an act of courage. In 1992, Rigoberta Menchú was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize, not for ending a war, but for insisting that indigenous lives mattered. The award recognised something vital: that peace is impossible when entire cultures are silenced. Menchú continued her work as an advocate for human rights, education, and cultural preservation long after the headlines faded. Her story is not without controversy. Some details of her testimony were questioned or debated, but the broader truth remained undeniable. Tens of thousands of indigenous people had been killed, displaced, and ignored. Menchú's voice did not invent their suffering, it illuminated it. She reminded the world that bearing witness is not about perfection, it's about refusing erasure. That sometimes the most powerful resistance is simply insisting, "We were here, this happened, remember us." Rigoberta Menchú did not raise her voice to become famous. She raised it because silence had already taken too much. In doing so, she transformed personal loss into collective memory, and proved that even in the face of violence, truth spoken with courage can travel further than fear ever could.